Hello, this is a threefer. I'm going to cover the Bigscreen Beyond pre-production audio strap, the thin cushion that I recently got, and give you a 2-month update. It's been over 2 months since I got my Beyond to begin with, just to give you an idea how my feelings about it may have changed or not changed, and what I've tried with it that I hadn't before. So let's start by saying this is a pre-release, or I shouldn't say pre-release. This is actually a pre-production copy. So there are known issues with this headset. It's not in production. It's not shipping yet. They are going to likely have another release candidate small run made before they go into full-blown production. The known issues with this, one is pretty severe. There's the left and right channels are swapped. Obviously something they'll have fixed. They're talking about making adjustments so that this can handle a wider range of head sizes. So for example, I've got my headphones pretty close to the ends of these speaker supports. And in the production copy, they're thinking they might extend that to cover different size heads better. Another real obvious thing, and you can see on here, I've actually got a little bit of never drying like Windows glaze. It's a type of a caulk. It stays soft forever, and I've put that in place to hold the speakers in place. There's going to be a spring in there to hold them. Right as they come out of the box, they're floppy. So like I said, this is pre-production. They've got things to fix. In going through this, one of the first things I noticed, it looked like there was a place where the cushion wasn't in place, and I was thinking, oh well, it's glued or something. But no, they've got this Velcroed in place. So if you're a modder, or if this gets damaged and needs replacing, I'm assuming at some point they'll have replacement foam for this, so it just Velcros into place. It's a nice touch. Another thing about it, in keeping with their minimalistic, extremely lightweight design, this is a very lightweight head strap. I mean, they have very thin clips on the side here. Everything is just what you need to make it work. And it doesn't take away from that ultralight feeling, that just that great feeling of being able to whip your head around. Now, another thing, when I say it's lightweight, I did weigh my previous solution, which it uses a Quest 3 head support, and it works pretty well. It grabs your hair pretty well. The strap fits through these slots real well, and I cut some paper clips to set the tension where it works for me. And I'm actually using 2 of these 3D printed cable clips. And this is working well, but as you'll see, this actually does a lot better. It surprised me. Now, if you took the combination of my headset, this head support and strap, and you take my IEMs, and you take the little zoomy adapter, and you take the face gasket, well, I shouldn't forget the face gasket. If you take all of these things together, I'll measure it here, but I've already seen the results. So here's the strap, headphones, and zoomy. You get a total of 89 grams, which is very lightweight. If you put this in place, make sure it's all on there, I'm getting 158 grams. 158 grams. So it is a little heavier than the headset itself, but that's really light. I mean, if you're looking at all of this combined being almost 90 grams, so for another 60 grams, you've got an entire rigid strap in place. Now, putting this together, once you get it, it's very, very simple. I'm going to put this in place here. The you simply take off your old strap, you clip the new one on. As it comes out of the box, this is pulled inside the headset, and you pull it out until you have enough slack to attach the audio plug into the USB-C connector. I can shove some of that back in there if I want. And then, let me snap this in place. There. Now, the head adjustment is a simple knob on the back, which is very similar to what you see in other headsets. Then the speakers can be slid up and down to reach your ears and rotated. And then these knobs on the side, if you crank them, they move the speaker away and closer to your ears. So by rotating this, I can get them just barely off my ears in use. And once you have it together, and obviously this one's already adjusted for me, you simply put it on over your eyes and push it in place, and you're done. And it's perfectly aligned. I didn't need to adjust a thing. I just shoved it on my face and pulled it back, and it seems to be holding it better. I'm not having to tweak anything. I mean, this is, and just take it off, you're done. So this is as convenient as any other headset I've ever had in terms of just being able to quickly put it on. And I mean, you can't see what I'm seeing, but it's crystal clear. And this is absolutely working perfectly. Now, at first, I ordered this head strap last summer thinking, well, I had a set of $900 IEMs that I've been using with my my Aero, and I was thinking, I probably won't be happy with the audio, but I'll see if I like it. Maybe it'll be good for room scale. What I wasn't thinking about was the fact that putting a rigid strap, as light as it is, on this headset keeps it stable with a lot less pressure. So what I'm finding when I put this on is the headset itself doesn't require nearly as much pressure to hold it in place. And that makes sense because this is a stretchy strap. And it's going to allow the headset to wiggle more if you don't tighten it a little bit more. So it requires more pressure. This allows you to loosen the pressure against your face to the point where it's barely even touching. And you can adjust it tighter if you need to. So for if I'm in a room scale game and I'm whipping my head around, it doesn't take much pressure to hold it, and it's staying put. And I've also taken this into dirt rally in my motion rig where I'm bouncing around real high, and the headset is not moving. So the ability to lighten the pressure on your face is actually substantial. I feel like I could wear this all day long now. I considered it comfortable before, and I was real happy with it. And then I tried this out, and it was one of those, damn, that's better. And I wasn't expecting it to make that big of a difference. So it is more comfortable. So, I mean, the combination of everything, I guess, is what, maybe 300 grams total? But the way it's distributed, because you can see this head strap, it's cupping a lot of the back of my head here. These are very lightweight. I mean, that's a very thin strip that's holding this. And somebody tweaked the heck out of this. That was some very clever engineering to get this whole thing to be this light. And I'm very happy with this. So I'm looking forward to seeing the full production version. Now, I did make a couple adjustments, like I mentioned. I stuck some caulk on here in place of the springs that haven't come yet. I stuck a little bit in here because I found a little play, and I even stuck a little in the knob here. And when I was done, this was absolutely silent. So I can shake it around and I hear no rattles, no movement, and it holds me very solid in game. So I have to say, this is a home run. If this had shipped with the Beyond, I'd be willing to bet that most of the people complaining about comfort issues wouldn't have had an issue. So I think it's just a matter of, they're getting things into production as quickly as they can. And like I said, I understand they're going to have another release candidate, small production run in maybe another month or so to verify things. So these still are not going to be available quickly. So unfortunately, it means people have to wait. But the good news is it's excellent, and highly recommend it. And I did not expect it to be that much more comfortable. I really had serious doubts. I mean, I thought, well, this is, it's not pulling in my face too hard, and it's very comfortable, but this is even more so. So anyway, all right, now, one thing I hadn't mentioned yet is the sound quality. So, as I mentioned before, I've got these really nice IEMs, and they're ultra efficient, and they've got a lot of punch and a lot of deep bass. These don't have the subwoofer-like bass that these have, but they sound great in game. I'm finding I'm using about 50 to 60% volume in game, and that's with them slightly off my ears. In game, the sound quality was good. I didn't see any issues. Now, if you were listening to music with them, I did try listening to some music, and they don't sound as good as these do for music, but for everything that I saw in game, and I played it in Beat Saber and Space Pirate Trainer, which have a good music track, and they sounded good. They had good punch. It's not audiophile quality, but they sound really good. And honestly, I'm going to have trouble putting these back on after using this. It's good enough that even on my motion rig, I assumed I'd want the additional sound deadening that these have with their earplug-like interface, because these have 37 decibels of sound reduction. So I thought, well, I'll hear my rig again and I won't like it. But I was playing Dirt Rally yesterday with these, and it's bouncing me around, and I've got the seatbelt tensioner with actuators right behind me. It's probably one of the noisier things I've got on my rig, and the transducers and everything else. And honestly, it wasn't bothering me at all. So I'm starting to feel like these may be relegated. I don't know what I'll use them for. I don't listen to headphones often. These are real nice, but anyway. All right, so the next thing on my list, the thin cushion I just got. So Bigscreen Beyond suggests getting the normal cushion when you get your headset for a few reasons. They want to make sure you don't have any interference. So if you look at this is the thin cushion installed. You can see the edge of the lens there. And for some people, their brow could get into the lens. So that's one reason that they go for this. The other reason is eyelashes hitting the lens, which makes it uncomfortable when you're in there. I have short eyelashes, and I pressed real hard with the stock one and thought I'd be safe. And it turns out I am. So this does fit me well, but I do want to make a real solid warning to people that you probably should still go with the normal cushion when you get your Beyond initially. There's no guarantees. I could push this in hard enough to get my eyelashes to touch down, and I don't have any corrected lenses in mine, and that would bring it out just a little closer to me. In fact, I think if I had corrected lenses in this with the thin cushion, my eyelashes might touch down. So while this fits me, it may not fit everyone. So just be very aware of that. Now, here's a couple surprising things about it. When I weighed this, so here's the original, and it's bigger. This one is quite a bit thinner. If you look at this, actually that may be out of focus, but you can see it's substantially thinner. But this little guy is actually denser. It weighs a little bit more when I weighed them side by side. So here's the original, and I'm getting 36 grams. And then here is the thin, and I'm getting 39 grams. So there's less material, but they're printing it denser. Now, it might be that they can't afford the sponginess of this with a thin one, so they don't want as much squish. So they may have just had like a thicker infill or whatever, or I don't know. They might be doing something different that adjusts the durometer or durometer or whatever factor of it. But at any rate, it's done slightly differently. I'm finding it's very comfortable. Now, why would you get a thin cushion? So the biggest issue is it increases your field of view slightly. By pushing me closer to the lenses, I measured using WIM FOV an extra 4 degrees vertical field of view and an extra 2 degrees. So I went from 86 vertical to 90 vertical, and I went from 98 to 100 horizontal. But in addition to that, I got a little bit of a bigger sweet spot. So it's moving me in closer, and it changes the optics a little bit. And I think I'm able to look around with my eyeballs more now than I could before. So I'm able to get a larger percentage of it. And it does make it feel a little roomier. So I'm liking this. So it's something to consider. When I bought it, I think it was, I'm trying to remember whether it was $89 or something delivered. I'm not sure, but at any rate, it's I think it was $69 and $20 shipping. But just be aware, it's not dirt cheap. But I didn't have to have my face rescanned. I had them use the original data, and they sent it to me again. Now, one other thing I did with both of these, and I think it's part of the printing process, there was just a tiny little lip right here around the nose. And I used some surgical snips, and I very carefully got in just under there and just took that little lip. It left a little line on my nose. But without it, I have no line. It wasn't uncomfortable. I didn't really feel it in use, but I didn't like having a line when I came out of VR, so that took care of that. Anyway, so that's basically all the ups and downs of this. It might be worth trying if you want to experiment. It will cost some money to try it, and I can't guarantee it'll work for you personally. You might. I'm real close to bottoming out my lashes, and I have very short lashes, so if you've got long lashes, this may not work. Okay, the last thing on my list is it's been 2 months since I got this. And when I came up with my review about 6 days after I got it, there'd been comments about, well, this will be better long term. You're in the honeymoon phase or whatever. So first thing, let me say I still love the thing. I haven't found any issues with it. I did, experiment a little. I did get the Q3 head strap. Not that the Q2 aftermarket head strap didn't work. I just thought this was a little better. It wasn't expensive, so I tried it. The other thing I have experimented with is the different light levels. And just out of curiosity, because I know some people had to back off the brightness a little if they had issues with persistence. And I dropped it down to 80%, just, as a start. And then I went into the, what is it? There's a room in Steam VR, a background that has all the diagnostics for, glare and field of view, and you've got the little eye charts and all that. And after I dropped it down, when I looked at they have a like a dither that goes from dark black up to bright white. And even with the brightness dropped, I could still see every deviation. So it didn't crush the blacks, and at 100%, it didn't blow out the brights. So I'm still getting a good contrast ratio. And in game, once my eyes adjusted to it, even at a lower brightness level, I couldn't tell the difference. It just might have taken me a second longer to adjust. Since then, I put it back up to 90%, and I might put it back up to 100, I'm not sure. The other thing I noticed since it started getting colder here, so it's winter time here, this is my basement, and of course heat rises, so it's a little cooler. And I found the fogging took me a little longer to clear. So what I've started doing is turning on my computer and turning on Steam VR, which gets the headset started. It doesn't turn the panels on completely, but it will warm the electronics up, and I found that reduces the fog time, dramatically. So, it'll clear within a couple minutes if you let it warm up a little. But I was starting to get it, extending even past the 10 minutes of the arrow that it took for the arrow for the fan to turn on. So I've done that now that it's warmer or that it's colder. I don't expect to see that problem in the summer. It doesn't seem to be humidity based. The humidity in the house has dropped, but it fogs more just by being cold than it does even if the humidity is is 10 or 20% or 15 or I don't know, a lot more humidity in the air. If it's a higher temperature, it seems to still burn off quicker. So let me think. I think that's about it.